Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Anthropology. Today we are starting a new subject matter. We are going to be focusing on the introductions of anthropology. So please make sure to like the video if you find it helpful, and also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification icon, and let's get right into it. So, Anthropology Unit 1. So, Introduction to Anthropology. As many subject matters, Unit 1 mostly covers the introductions of the subject, what the subject means, or it will focus on the definitions. So, as if this we are going to be looking at Unit 1, Introduction to Anthropology, on what the definition is. What does it mean by anthropology? So we will see first on what anthropology means as a word. So first off, anthropology, the term anthropology is made from, is a compound word of two Greek words, that is anthropos and logos. These two Greek words translate to anthropos of being human or mankind, human being or mankind, and the logos translate to reasons, study, and science. So basically, anthropology means the study of humankind. So anthropology means reason about humans, or the study or science of humankind or humanity. Anthropology is the study of people, their origins, where the origins of humankind is. It studies people's origins, development, and contemporary variations, wherever and whenever. So it is not limited by time. When it says whenever, wherever, it is not limited by place, and when it says whenever, it means that it is not limited by time. So it could go back to millions of years ago and studies about the origins, development, and contemporary variations of human beings. And it could go to different places in the world, and study the same thing. So it is not limited by places or time. So it is a broad scientific, we can say that anthropology is a broad scientific discipline dedicated on the comparative study. So on the comparative study of humans, and of humans as a group. From the first appearance on the earth, its present and stage of development. So anthropology is a broad scientific discipline that is dedicated to the comparative study of human as groups, from their first appearance on the earth to the present stage of development. So how was the human being behaving on their origins, and how are they behaving now? So it will be comparing these two things and showing the difference and all the historical development. So next up, about anthropology, we need to know a little bit about the historical development of anthropology. How did anthropology came to existence of being studied as its own profession? So like the other social science, anthropology is a fairly recent discipline. So this could come on a test as a true or false. You should note this: anthropology is a recent discipline. It is not an old one as other studies. So anthropology was given its present shape during the 20th century, which is very near. So if we restrict ourselves to anthropology as a scientific discipline, some would trace its roots back to the European Enlightenment. During the 18th century. So it is believed that it could have originated, the study of anthropology could have originated from the Enlightenment days of the Europes in the 18th century. But others would claim that anthropology did not arise as a science until the 1850s, yet others would argue that anthropological researches and its present-day sense only commenced after First World War. So there are many debates on the origins of anthropology study. So anthropology considered as a science of humanity. So as we said before, anthropology specifically means, the word means the study of human beings, and anthropology is considered as the science of humanity, originated into the region we commonly but inaccurately call the West. So notably in three or four Western countries. So some say also that anthropology is originated from the regions that is from the West countries, which are France, America, and Great Britain's America, USA, and until the Second World War of Germany. So historically speaking, this is a European discipline, and they like to trace its roots back to the ancient Greeks as well. So the present academic anthropology has its roots in the works and ideas of great ancient and medieval Greek, Roman, and Hebrew philosophers and social thinkers. Generally speaking, anthropology as an academic discipline was born in the 19th century. So keep note of this. This is the main one. So anthropology, we can say that anthropology is an academic discipline born in the 19th century out of the intellectual atmospheres of Enlightenment, the European Enlightenment, and based on the Darwinian theory of evolution. So we will come back to you might have some knowledge about the Darwinian theory of evolution, but we will discuss on that later on in the course. So let's just continue on the historics of anthropology. During its formative years, anthropology became a profession primarily in museums. So early anthropologists mainly studied small communities in technological simple societies. So technologically simple societies, they were choosing small simple societies and knowing their ways and studying them. That was in the late 19th centuries. That was what anthropologists, which anthropologists are people that study anthropology, were very focused on. So before it was grown to global study as it is now. Anthropologists of the early 1900s emphasized the study of social and cultural difference among human groups. So in the 90s, anthropologists were comparing the social and cultural difference among human groups based on the places of where they're centered at. So they became comparing the social and cultural difference of America to England to Europe to Asia. So they were mainly doing things like that. Many of the indigenous people of non-Western world and their social and cultural features were studied in detail and documented. Scope and subject matters of anthropology. So as we said, in the 19th century, anthropology was small, that is focusing on small societies at the beginning, and just grown to studying or comparing cultural and social differences of of human groups, as we say. But nowadays anthropology is a big study of its own. So we are going to be looking at how big it is, the scope, and what subject matters it touches. The breadth and depths of anthropology is immense. So there are no time and space left as far as man exists. So in other words, the temporal dimension covers the past and the present, and even the future. So as we said before, anthropology is not limited by time or place. So what it says over here, that anthropology can study about the past, the present, or even the future based on what it has or based on its studies. So in terms of spatial dimensions, anthropology studies from Arctic to the desert, from megapoles to hunting and gathering areas. So it covers vast amounts of areas in the world. The discipline covers all aspects of human ways, life experiencing and existence. So any aspect in which the human life throughout history have experienced it, anthropologists will study about that specific occasion. So the anthropology can cover all the aspects of the human ways of life experiences and existence as humans live in a social group. So what are the subfields of anthropology? So there are 4 subfields of anthropology. These are namingly, first off, we have physical, or named or also known as biological anthropology, and we have archaeological, and we have linguistic and linguistic anthropology. So as you can understand from the word, linguistic means about language and language related studies. So our fourth and last one is social cultural anthropology. So anthropology can be subdivided into categories of 4 major subfields. These are physical or biological anthropology, archaeological, linguistic anthropology, and social cultural anthropology. So we keep note of this, and we will be first looking at the physical and biological anthropology. So when we come to physical or biological anthropology, as the name explains it, in the branch of anthropology most closely related to the natural science and particular biologies. So study how this subfield studies how culture and environment have influenced these 2 areas of biological evolutions and contemporary variations. So essentially concerned with 2 broad areas of investigation. These are about the human evolution and genetics. So this is the main point of physical and biological anthropology. They mainly emphasize on studying and investigating 2 broad areas, which are the human evolutions and the genetics of humans. So that is physical and biological anthropology focus. The human evolution is further divided into 3 specialities, that is paleoanthropology and primatology. So what is paleoanthropology? Paleo, in the meaning, paleo means old. So paleo, this word paleo means old, and paleoanthropology is the study of human biological evolution through the analysis of fossils. You can recognize paleo and connect it to old, and basically find the definition to paleoanthropology, that it means that it focuses on studying about fossils, old human fossils, and knowing about the human biological evolutions. The next one we have is primatology. The next physical / biological anthropology subfield or speciality is primatology, study about recent human ancestry to explain human evolution. So this is about recent human. It is not the recent about us. It is about the ancestry of us. It studies about the primates and recent human ancestors of to explain their human evolutions. So this also is about human evolutions, but it is more recent one than paleontology. So the difference between paleontology and primatology, this is old, as it says over here. It is old. Primatology, it is recent. So they are both studying about the human evolutions, but paleo is old, primatology is for recent ones, recent ancestors. So our second subfield of anthropology is archaeological. Archaeological studies the ways of lives of past people by excavating and analyzing the material, culture, physical remains of the human being, such as artifacts, features, and ecofacts. So the difference between archaeological and physical or biological anthropology is that archaeological focuses on artifacts, features, and ecofacts. The basic concept of archaeological is these are materials. These are not human related. They are human related, but there are human. They are materials or objects or natural or natural or ecosystem things that are correlated to humans' evolution. So this archaeological uses not human fossils, but materials and things and non-artifactual or organic or environmental remains to know or understand about the human evolutions, or to understand about the culture or social everything about the human being. So archaeological, we can see that it has three focuses that it can focus on. These are artifacts is the first one. So artifacts, archaeological uses these three main subdivisions to focus on, to study. So artifact is the first one. Artifacts are material remains that have been used by people in the past. So artifacts uses material remains made or used by the past peoples, and they can be removed from the site. So artifacts can be removed from the site. So let's highlight this. They can be removed from the site. There's a reason we highlight this. The next one is features. So archaeological uses artifacts, and the second one features. Features are like artifacts are made or modified by past people, but they cannot be readily carried away from the site. So as I said, the reason that we highlighted cannot be removed from the site is because features, unlike artifacts, cannot from place, so they're not easy to be moved from their sites. They are going to be staying on the site, but examined or studied to understand more about the humans that was in the past that we're using it. When we come to ecofactors, ecofactors are non-artifactual organic or and environmental remains such as soil, animal bones and plant remains that were not made or altered by humans. So the main thing about ecofactors is they are not made or altered by human beings. So both of these artifacts and features have been made. They are materials that have been forged, been made, or been used by the people from the past. These materials. But when it comes to ecofactors, ecofactors are some natural or organic environmental remains. So they are non-artifactual, such as soil, animal bones, and plant remains that these were not made or altered by human beings. So archaeology has also its own subfields of areas of specialities. The most important ones are prehistoric archaeology, approaches on the study of past people by excavating and analyzing material and cultural physical remains. The prehistoric archaeology investigates human prehistory and prehistoric culture. It focuses on the entire period between the 6,000 years ago and the time of the first stone tools. From 6,000 to 2.5 million years ago is called the prehistoric, and the historic archaeologists help when we see that archaeology has also its own subfields, we have prehistoric archaeology and historic archaeology, saying that before we get into linguistic anthropology, let me tell you just something about prehistoric archaeology and historic archaeology. Prehistoric archaeology is studies from the period of time from the 6,000 years ago to the stone age days of human beings, which is 2.5 million years ago. So it is between this gap from 6,000 to 2.5 million years ago. That is to prehistoric archaeology. And when we come to historic archaeology, it is mainly focused on after the invention or in the discovery of languages and writing. So it focuses on from 6,000 years the human beings evolving into writing, speaking, and communicating each other. So the historic archaeology focuses on books and writings of the past peoples. The third type of anthropology is linguistic anthropology. So as we can understand from the word linguistic means language related. So linguistic anthropology or anthropological linguistics studies human language as cultural responses and speaking as a cultural practice in its social and cultural context across space and time. So linguistic anthropology is divided into four distinct branches or areas of researches. The first one being structural or descriptive, the second one being historical linguistics, the third one being ethnolinguistics, and the fourth one being socio linguistics. As we said, linguistic anthropology or anthropology or linguistic studies human language. So there are subdivisions or distinct branches of linguistic anthropology, which is structured or descriptive linguistics, historical linguistics, ethnolinguistics, and social linguistics. So structural or descriptive linguistics studies the structure of linguistic patterns. It examines sound systems, grammatical systems, and meanings attached to words, so in a specific language to understand. So the main thing about structural or descriptive linguistics is that it focuses on a specific language. So how a specific language sounds, what are the grammatical systems of a specific language, and the meanings attached to the word. So to understand the structure and set of rules of a given language. So even culture has a distinctive language with its own logical structure and set of rules for putting words and sounds together for the purpose of communicating. So basically this structure and or descriptive linguistics is mainly focuses on a specific language.